Alright, so everybody already knows, if you want to do some awesome crawling, awesome climbing, go anywhere, nothing stops at vehicle, you got to get a Jeep. Nothing messes with its geometry, nothing messes with its specs. It's the best around for this type of activity. But most of us can't drive a Willys Jeep all day, every day, unless you can afford a third or fourth vehicle. Most of us need trucks. So we're going to show you guys how well these trucks stack up against the Jeeps. Against built Jeeps, that is. We're going to show you what Tacoma TRDs, Tacoma Trd Pros, the stock zr2, F250 Super Duty diesels, and Raptor builds can do against Jeeps crawling. No one expects any of these desert runners to keep up with built Jeeps on mountain trails, but none of the owners were too scared to show you guys just how close they can get. A few of us actually got close to rolling our vehicles too. Try to stay awake because this is a crawling video. Crawling videos are difficult to record because you're basically hiking the whole time or flying a drone courtesy of Dustin. Some of the footage will be sped up just so you guys don't die of boredom, but if crawling is your thing and you guys want to come here, Claycorn's awesome. It's got something to offer beginners, something to offer experienced guys. If you've never been here before, check out Dustin's channel. I'll put a link. He's got an awesome video for here. More about that later. This is Joe and his Jeep Wrangler. We have a Jeep Wrangler and a Jeep Rubicon in this video, both wide, so good luck trying to keep up. On a previous trip, the Rubicon with his locking front axles made it up this hill no problem. I think Joe would have made it up this challenge had he aired down more, but we wanted to move on to more direct challenges since no other vehicle had the departure angle to clear the bed right here. I tried it in the ZR2 just to show off the front lockers and to show you guys how close it can get to a Jeep. What I really ended up showing you guys is how easily you can roll a vehicle. Nothing happened, but by taking an angle to help the bed clear, I got it off balance enough to roll, but was saved by the terrain. Again, I hate crawling and my inexperience shows here. So you've seen this Jeep in previous videos of ours before in different configurations. He's always modding it out. This Jeep's got an ARB rear lockers. It's got no locking front as you guys saw in the beginning of the videos. It's got a 3-inch Terraflex lift on 35-inch BFG KO2 tires. Those are Raptor tires, by the way. It's got black Rhino wheels, Fox shocks, and a Wrath off-road exhaust. At the time of filming this, I'm not sure if it was installed though, but the Rubicon coming up next has it, and in a later clip, we will let you hear the note up close. The Jeeps came out here for continued torture testing and were kind enough to let us record. So I'm going to put a link in the description below just so you can check it out in case you guys are in the market for an exhaust, just something different. They're also developing for more vehicles. More on that later. So in case you guys don't got a good eye for Jeeps and you missed a switch, this is now a Jlu Rubicon. It's got 35-inch tires, it's got a lift, it's got giant solid axles with electronic lockers on the front and rear axles. And it's got an electronic disconnect sway bar. This is not a fair fight at all. And of course, this Raptor wasn't too scared to go after all those Jeeps. In case you guys are thinking that Raptors or full-size trucks don't make proper hill climb vehicles, you're right, they're not made for that. But with a good driver that knows their equipment and terrain, you can do a lot with these trucks. First off, this isn't a Raptor. It's a 2014 FX4 F-150 EcoBoost Raptor build. Most of the guys that build these trucks do it because they love building. It also means that they're willing to sell because they can't wait for the cash for their next build. The owner of this vehicle is no exception. He's one of those guys. So like all the drivers, I'll put their Instagram info and links in the description so you can contact them or communicate them in case you're interested. This particular vehicle has upgraded fenders with proper liners, full race intercooler, downpipes, MagnaFlow catback exhaust, intake upgrade, catch can, thermostat upgrade, custom tuned deep transpan, transcooler. It's re-geared for bigger tires and more abuse. Got a raceline clutch, RPG upper and lower kit. Stay with me. It's got 3-inch adjustable king shock, Fox 2.5-inch bump stocks, RPG shackles, devers, custom rear axle at Raptor width, electronic rear lockers, fully protected with skid plates, and a bunch of interior upgrades for driver amenities. And yes, I did leave a lot of stuff out.
Fuck yeah.
And next we got this brand new 2018 Toyota Tacoma Trd Pro with the Fox shocks, everything. These trucks are awesome, but don't want to clown the driver. He's super cool, but this is a great example of knowing your equipment. He just got this vehicle, so he's learning. Cut a lot out because he just struggles back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Are your lockers not on? Yeah, straight. Watch him, watch him. He's a better guide.
He got pretty close to rolling it just because I was multitasking as a spotter. I failed him a little bit, but we got him out, everything. Once he remembered the lockers, once he remembered crawl control, this truck made it out of here no problem. This is obviously one of the better crawlers in the truck world. So after almost rolling the vehicle on the first challenge, my wife decided to take over. She's driving here and ended up with one of the best lines of the day on this hill. Of course, it doesn't matter. This little truck would have made it up any line you chose with its front lockers. It's got a great approach angle. The TRD Pro has a better approach angle than this, actually slightly. But with the big cutouts in the bumper for the access of the tires, if you pick a good line, you can make those approach angles irrelevant. Of course, you still have to deal with the rear, so don't go too far. But yeah, you can see how easily this little vehicle makes it up anything.
God damn, she gives 0 fucks, dude. Yeah. Yeah, crawl control now.
Next up is David in his white 2017 Tacoma 4x4 off-road model. This is actually one of the least equipped vehicles here, and I'll tell you guys why later that's important. A lot of Toyota guys like buying these and upgrading them instead of spending TRD money, and I have come to agree with them. This model comes with rear lockers and crawl control. We have seen a few Tacos test their crawl control with no success. Honestly, I think it slows them down, and we have criticized them in the past, but this Taco struggled without it and did fine once engaged. Seemed to be the story of the day actually with all the Tacos today, so maybe we got to revise that statement.
I mean, like, right when you get to that rock, done it. No, wait, yeah, continue to drive. Good job, though. That was good. Bring it, bring it. Okay, all right, so turn the wheel passenger. Yeah. Okay, now go.
This is a cool little pre-runner setup that I love. It's a 2017 Taco Trd off-road. It's got an icon kit with OME leaves and Shackle Timberland bump stock. You might remember this Taco struggling in Azusa Canyon in an earlier video, but it now has proper Firestone MT2 tires and they just love the rear locking differential. It had a successful day on this trip either because of those new tires or that new awesome roof rack it's got. You guys might remember this Taco from our previous 2 videos as well. It's a 2017 TRD off-road. The driver is Dustin. He's got a YouTube channel. We've put links in the description to his other stuff. We help each other a lot. He uses our footage. We depend on his drone footage. He's awesome. But for any of you Toyota guys, also for any of you crawlers interested in exploring Cleghorn Trail, he just did a review on this trail not too long ago. The one I mentioned in the beginning, I'll put links in the description. But check him out. Check that video out if you want to come here. His channel is turned into a Taco channel. So he's got ownership stuff, he's got review stuff, and just tons more to come. And last but definitely not least is this 2001 F-250 Diesel Super Duty. It's got a short bed off-road 4x4 package and it shouldn't fit in your garage, much less on any of these trails. Just to put things into perspective for you, I believe all the Tacos use their crawl control and we even use the front lockers to go up this. All the vehicles, especially the Jeeps, had proper tires. This beast, even though it had a solid front axle, is climbing with a limited slip differential. That means no lockers. It's got a 2.5-inch leveling kit on Bilstein shocks with 33-inch Michelin highway tires. It has a few more upgrades, but I'm guessing that solid front axle is the reason this truck makes it through. It was able to carry the speed necessary to overcompensate for street tire, size, weight, and lack of lockers. This driver, this vehicle, video, everything here proves that knowing your equipment and what it's capable of mixed with choosing the right line can go a long way in the real world. It always comes down to the driver, not the equipment. And speaking of the driver, this is a proper opportunity to introduce you to Sam. He's been our post-production consultant and totally the reason I don't sound like an idiot sometimes. That being said, all the mistakes are his fault and damn, he has saved me from some embarrassing misstatements too.
Damn, dude.
This is the Rubicon I mentioned earlier. To pay attention to the exhaust note if you're interested in an upgrade for your JLU or JKU. since Jeep guys are the only ones that are going to know what a JLU or JKU designation means, don't worry if you have a ZR2 or a Raptor and you like this exhaust, they're bringing to market one for those vehicles as well soon. At the time of filming this Rubicon had a 2-inch Mopar lift kit with Fox shocks, 35-inch Toyo open country mountain tires on 17-inch black Rhino wheels. The wider stance really helps for off-roading, not just for rolling over, but also so you can pick a better line and hug walls better. You don't mess up your body as much. So of course, since the ZR2 performed so well and all the other trails didn't leave you wanting for a Jeep at all, these bastards took us down the hill of the top of Claycourt Trail. It's it's not the last, it's the trail at the summit, and it's actually a descent, it's not a climb. But you gotta hug that wall right there unless you have the Jeep number clearance, which we don't. Every vehicle I've known that's not a Jeep that goes through here gets body damage. These Jeeps just go through carefully and they're fine. I'll show you guys the body damage later. I drove, since there's about an 80% chance that your vehicle is going to get damaged here, so I drove just so my wife didn't feel bad, even though she was doing better than I was. And not only did we scrape, I'll show you the damage again later, but we also high centered right there, right on the middle of the rocks. So the Jeeps had to pull us out. It was fun, we all had a good laugh, whatever. But I didn't want any of the vehicles to have to go through here just because the body damage of anyone was going to go through here. Of course I was going to commit just for you guys. This is a comparison video, but we encouraged all of the big vehicles to go around this and not take this challenge.
Good?
Yes, sir.
That's good. We're making it work.
You got tension.
Okay, cool, Mike. Go ahead and let off the brake and I'm going to tuck in.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Hold on, let me go down on my own power. Hold on, Joe, hold on.
So this is the part of the video where I'm supposed to tell you who won, what to buy, what to stay away from, all that stuff. I know it's not a fair comparison, any stock truck versus modified Jeeps crawling on a mountain trail, but the Jeeps did win today. I'll blame myself for picking a bad line, but it should also remind you guys how well the F-250 did, and especially David's 2017 Tacoma. Both were basic vehicles and they kicked butt today. David came through the same pass 1 year ago in his Tacoma. Claycourt has already claimed his bumper, we showed you guys that on a previous video, and when he came through this challenge, he took light body damage, but he made it through without high centering and without needing a tow. I think those two vehicle and driver combos prove that it's not the vehicle, it's always the driver. A good driver that knows their equipment will always outperform better equipped vehicles. So like always, pick what you love, practice, get good at it, and keep it dirty. Big shout out, thanks to everyone that helped, thanks to all the vehicles that were involved. We're gonna put links to everybody's Instagram. Please follow us if you like these videos, subscribe and like. If you know anybody that's in the market or interested in buying any of these vehicles, please share. And stay tuned because in the next couple of videos, we took a trip to Baja and we're gonna start running Baja trips out there. So if you guys are interested in seeing how ZR2s, Tacomas, Raptors, everything pairs up against each other, mostly stock and lightly modded, just to see how these vehicles do in Baja and what it takes to get down there and what you need to survive it. Stay tuned, you're gonna like it, and hopefully we could open up the whole Baja experience. Just take advantage of the market that there's so many good off-road offerings now.